Hi, ladies. Today is Friday, October 25th, 2019. Excuse my appearance. I know I look a mess. You would think I'd be, better at this whole motherhood thing now that Michaela's 3.5 months old. I'm sitting here holding her. She is napping. And sitting here holding her while she naps. She has developed a really bad habit of as soon as I put her down when she naps, those eyes pop open. So, I often do put her down and just deal with it, but then she doesn't nap, and then the crying ensues, and then we'll go through a whole day of either no real naps, which will be a fussy day, or sometimes I'll hold her until she's like knocked out, and then I might, put her in her bed. But yeah, so this is where I am. And right before I went to record this video, she threw up on my shirt. So I changed into this, you know, old t-shirt and said, let me call it a day. But I realized the week was almost over and I didn't do my 15-week update. And so I am 15 weeks postpartum, something I forgot to mention. So Michaela is 15 weeks old. I'm 15 weeks postpartum. Um, and I just wanted to get on here and update. It's been a hard week anyway, to be honest with you. It's been a really rough week. I'm having childcare woes, a lot of mommy guilt. I have 7 months maternity leave. Michaela's 3.5 months old. I have another 3.5 months to go. But that time is moving really quickly, and I have decided to start looking into childcare. So I actually started looking into it about a month ago. But there was a woman who I know from a church that I don't attend, but I have visited, who knew I was having a baby, and she reached out to me, and we just to see how the baby was doing. Come find out, she wasn't working at the time. She wanted to be the Michaela's nanny, and I thought it would be a great fit at the time, and I thought I had this all squared away about a month ago. She started coming over to kind of get Michaela used to her, because Michaela doesn't like to be held by a lot of people other than me and her father. Like, she went through like a month to 5 weeks of not even letting her father hold her. Not really sure why, but she's super clingy to me. I don't know if that's because she's a Cancer. I read that Cancers can be very clingy to their mother, so maybe that's why. Or is it because she's a breastfed baby? She does take bottles, but she does latch, so I do breastfeed her. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just her personality, or maybe, I'm just awesome. I don't know. But whatever it is, she is very clingy to me. And so she doesn't like a lot of people to hold her. And she finally, she went through that phase where she wouldn't let my husband hold her. And now she lets him hold her. But if you're somebody else, she still doesn't really want you to hold her. And she will scream until I take her. So I think is that she has to have those people around her. She hasn't been around a lot of people, um, other than me, my husband and myself. But my mother visited, my father visited, but we really haven't had a lot of visitors, and so she really doesn't know a lot of people, and so she's just not used to it. And I think that has to do with why she's so clingy. I think that's why. I really don't know why, but I love that she has this bond with me. I love that she wants to be with me, but it's not great because I'm not a stay-at-home mom, and I'm going to need to return to work, and I'm just so concerned about her. And so we had this woman who was supposed to be her nanny, and she had started coming over, and she was great, honestly. She was cooking, and she would cook and clean. She came over here to cook for free several times. She came over here and she cooked dinner a few times, and she, we just sat and chatted and all of that, and she was really good with that. Michaela was slowly adjusting to her, and then the woman kind of said some things that made me not feel comfortable with leaving Michaela with her unattended. Well, one thing she said was about giving her water You may be aware that you don't give babies water. I think they can get it at 6 months. I'm not even sure about that, but babies don't get water, especially not newborn babies. And, every time I tell people, some of the older school people, that, they scoff at it and say, like, oh, you can give a baby water, give her a little water, you got to give her water, and, or they say, you got to get that milk out of her mouth, you got to give her water. What my doctor told me is that you don't give them water, and that's all over. Everywhere you read, they'll tell you don't give them water, but you can clean her mouth with a wet washcloth for the milk if it's caked up on their tongue. That's all I've done. She has not received any water ever. And that's the way I want it to be, because they say it's not safe to give them water at this age. But the woman was kind of like, oh, doctors don't know. So once people say that to me, I start to get the impression that if I'm not here, you're going to start giving this baby water. And I already told you we don't do water. Now, the good thing is that the nanny wasn't going to be alone with her until I was probably already back at work. I'm sorry, and Michaela was 6 months, or past 6 months, and probably could get water at that point. But that's not the point. She kind of wanted to do her own thing, despite what I was telling her I was comfortable with. Also, when she came over here to cook, she didn't wash her hands with the chicken. She cooked some chicken and she didn't wash her hands, and I had to keep getting on her about washing her hands, like when she came in the house, and that was concerning to me. And then I just had concerns, and I wasn't sure that Michaela would be okay with her. I wanted it to work out. I really did, because the woman was over here cooking, and Lord knows I have not really been up on my cooking duties lately. She was, she could have been, had she worked out, she would have, and she was, a good nanny. It would have been great. The reason that, people think just because they had babies or they had grandkids that they could be a nanny. I don't think, I think your child, your grandchildren are different than taking care of someone else's children. And if you want to, what you want to do with your child, what you're allowed to do with your grandchildren is different when you're taking someone else's kids. And, I don't think people always realize that. They just feel like they're qualified because they've had kids or have grandkids or something. And to me, that wasn't enough. So with this woman, she was kind of saying some things and doing some things that were starting to concern me. And I just didn't feel comfortable. And so I decided not to use her. And that was about 2 weeks ago. And ever since then, I've been like really trying to find childcare, because I thought I had it squared away with her until she started getting more and more, the woman was getting a little, she said some other things too. And, when you kind of question her about washing her hands, and she's a little, anyway. So needless to say, it didn't work out. And I did want it to, because her price was good. She was very flexible. She was like, oh, give me what you can. I was like, oh, this will be great. She was like, give me whatever you can afford. And I'll cook and I'll clean and I'll take care of your baby. I'll take care of you. So I was in heaven with that, I thought. But she said some things and did some things at times that made me think that, okay, maybe I don't want to leave Michaela alone with her. So we've moved on, and I've just been trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Am I going to get a new nanny? Am I going to put Michaela in daycare? Like, I hadn't even considered daycare. If you had asked me when I was pregnant, I would have been like, no, I'm not putting the baby in daycare for the first year. And now I am seriously thinking about doing daycare. And to be honest, it like is killing me. I spent the whole day yesterday crying about it, probably the last 2 days crying about it, ever since I seriously started to realize that daycare could be a possibility. And there's nothing wrong with daycare, but I just didn't want to put her in daycare until she was at least a year old. I did not want to put her in daycare at 6 months, which is what it's looking like. And so, yes, I have 7 months maternity leave, but I want to ease her into it. So I'd probably put her in, if I'm going to do daycare, I'd probably put her in January and then have to ease her into it. So because I'll go back to work in February, early February, and so I'd probably put her in January and like slowly, go pick her up and stuff like that, ease her into that transition. And so, that's going to be hard. So that's what I was thinking about doing. and maybe even going back to work at the end of January, just so I could like start taking Fridays off. Like if I go back 2 weeks early, that'll give me like, like 10 Fridays I could take off or something, something like that. So we'll see. I haven't decided, but I'm thinking something like that might work. Um, so yeah, I'm not really sure. So yeah, easing her into daycare is what I would do. So she'd end up going in January when she's about 6 months. Um, So I don't know, ladies. I have just been racked with guilt about this whole daycare thing. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with daycare, but I do think she's too young. I just think 6 months is too young. I know there are people that put younger babies in daycare. I know from just this daycare experience where I'm like looking into daycares, I know a lot of them will take babies 6 to 8 weeks old. Take the youngest I found that they're taking 6 week old babies. I mean, my personal opinions is too young. That's my personal opinion. It's not based on anything. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people who put their baby in earlier. I just didn't want to do that. And I did not want to put her in daycare for, like I said, the first year. So now I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I don't know if I should get another nanny. We're, we interviewed one other person. Another person who volunteered the moment she found out Michaela was born from the church I actually go to. She wanted to be Michaela's nanny. I had two people volunteer, but this woman, this is the second woman. She wants a lot of money, and she doesn't have any nanny experience. Again, her experience is she has two kids that are now grown, but I just feel that she wants a lot of money. She's not willing to do anything else except for baby, take care of the baby. So sometimes these nannies will do some light cleaning, like I'm not looking for a housekeeper, but like just light, straightening up. A friend of mine, she had a nanny who took care of her baby, cleaned the kitchen, did laundry, um just basically did some light cleanup. She didn't cook anything, but she did light cleanup. A lot of them do things like that for the price. They do, from what I'm seeing, they will include like some light cleaning or meal prep or maybe walk your dog. I don't know. Some of them do that, but the price does vary. This woman wants a good amount of money, and she only wants to do baby stuff. And I mean, yes, the baby is the most important thing, so don't get me wrong. But I also had, I was kind of so on this person anyway, which is why she was my second choice. Um, she's very similar with the water. I don't know what it is with people when you tell them about the fact you don't get the baby water. I've had at least 4 people look at me sideways when I say I don't give the baby water. Like, that's not weird. Like, you're not supposed to give them water. And I've had at least 4 people, like, when I say I don't give them water, they're like, what's wrong with you? You would think, I don't know what you would think, but they just act so weird about it, as if I'm doing something wrong. Um, but yeah, she was like, "Oh, you can't listen to the doctors." I hate when people tell me that. Like, it's my kid. If I want to listen to the doctor, let me listen to the doctor. If I don't want to listen to the doctor, that's me. But let me make that decision. I'm not looking for you to parent her. Um, but I guess if you're a nanny, you are kind of parenting her to the extent when I'm not here. And if your ideals don't match up with my ideals, it's a bit of a problem. So, so the woman wants a lot of money. She also has a little of those old school ways, which can be good sometimes, but sometimes they're not great. And so and that she wasn't ever really my first choice because she's kind of gossipy, and we do go to the same church. And what I don't want is her in my house going through drawers or something, and then going back to church talking, because church people can be a trip. I'm telling you, sometimes they're the worst people. But yeah, so there's that. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. We're still looking into nannies. I'm on care.com, and also there's a bambino.com, and someone else told me about a website called Sitter City or something like that. I'm, trying to find a nanny possibly, or should we just do daycare? Daycare is, of course, cheaper. Um, you know, my friend who I was telling you had a nanny. Her nanny was actually cheaper than daycare. Her nanny was only $400 a week, but she only did 4 days. So her nanny was $400 a week, 4 days, and 4 days a week because her husband was able to work from home 1 day a week, so he did the fifth day. And her nanny, like I said, did housework, and so that was good. Whereas that same friend is paying like $2,000 a month on daycare. And yeah, daycare up here can be kind of pricey. I've priced some that were like $2,300 for Michaela's age, $2,300 a month. And, for that price, I could get a nanny. So, I don't know, ladies. I don't know what to do. Should I just bite the bullet and do a nanny? I mean, they're pricey. Or should I do daycare? The daycare now I'm actually considering, there's two. One of them is $900 a month. The other one is, so one's $900 a month, and their hours are 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. So they're good hours. I can, get to work. My husband, like, it'd be great. The other one, which is a more popular one here, is only $10.95, and its hours are 8:30 to 4:30, which is ridiculous. So you have to pay for extended hours. So if you want to drop off by 7 a.m., so 7 a.m. to 8:30, I guess, and for that block, it's an extra $150 a month. If you want to pick up after 4:30, so 4:30 to 6:30, it's an extra $250 a month. So if you need extended hours both early and later, then you have an extra $400 a month. So it's $10.95 plus the extra $400. Plus they have a registration fee of $208, plus no, $255, and they have a yearly membership fee of $208. So that one, but it's still not what my friend pays, and it's still not 2,300, which is one of the other daycares. I don't know. I'm so all over the place. I've just felt so much guilt for putting her in daycare. I mean, she's not in daycare yet, right? But I have so much guilt for thinking about putting her in daycare, and it's really hurting me. Like, I just never considered that when I was pregnant. I don't even know if I knew what I was going to do. Well, the original plan was that I was going to take my 7 months. Then my husband, he does get 3 months. He would take his 3 months, and then we figure it out. And we could still do that, but I don't want the spots in the good daycares to not be available. Right now, I know I can get her a spot as of January 1st in both the daycares I was referring to. But, if we wait, I don't know if the spots will be available. So then I don't know. Then I guess our only option would be a nanny once he has to go back. I don't know what to do. I mean, with daycare, she's so clingy to me. I could start her in daycare, like I said, after his leave, but I kind of want to be the one to ease her into it because I can calm her down. If necessary, I can, nurse her. That sometimes calms her down, or, just me being there calms her down more than anyone else. So if she's going to do a daycare transition, I really want to be there to try to be part of that transition. It'll be easiest if I do it before my leave is over. If we wait until his leave, which is an extra 3 months, she still won't be a year old, but she'll be closer to a year old. She'll be like 10 months old. So I'm just delaying, the transition, but she'll be a little older, so maybe she won't be as clingy. My issue right now is that I'm like, oh my God, if she has to be there, and given that she doesn't like a lot of new people holding her, I just know she's going to cry. And the idea of that just breaks my heart. And I know babies cry when you first leave them, but I'm like, will she stop? Because she never, when I have had people here, like, the potential nanny who was coming by, and just, I had a friend visiting from Dallas. She was here for 4 days or 3 days. Michaela wouldn't stop crying. She'd only get louder and louder when they held her, louder and louder and louder and louder. So my friend, she was here for 3 days. She stopped trying to hold Michaela, but the nanny, she kept She came over a few times, and Michaela was just starting to get used to her when she stopped coming. So I don't really know what to do. Did I mess Michaela up by holding her? Like, yeah, maybe I should put her down now, and I probably will when this video is done. I was holding her when she fell asleep, and I wanted to record this, but people say it's if you you got to let them cry, and I'm like, why do you have to let them cry? My thing is, life is hard, and I know her life. Like, I don't want her life to be hard, but there will be times when her life is hard. There'll be so many times in life where she has to cry. Just like, do I have to let her and sit around and let her cry now just so she can get used to crying? Will that make her a stronger person if I let her cry more now? Because I don't want her to think mommy's not going to come. It's like people say it in a bad way, like I'm teaching her that if she cries, I'll pick her up. Well, I'm teaching her that if she needs me, I'll be there. Like, is that good or bad? I don't know. I mean, I don't want her to think that if she needs me and if she's crying for me, I won't be there. But there will be times, unfortunately, when I go back to work, that when she cries for me, I can't be there. And I don't know how to balance the two. Like, maybe I should have just sat here and let her cry more. But it's so hard to hear your baby crying. It really is. It's so hard. It's so hard to sit there and just listen to your baby cry. And you could do something. Is that for the best that she cries? I mean, if you do research on this topic, they actually say don't let your baby cry it out. And at her age, infants, like, you don't let them cry it out. You can't spoil them. People say, oh, she's spoiled, but they actually say you can't spoil them. Now, yeah, that's what doctors and psychologists and the experts say. And people always discount that and say, oh, don't listen to those people. They don't know what they're talking about. But I don't want her to feel like I'm not going to be there. And because I have been there, now I don't know what to do when I can't be there. So maybe I screwed it up already. I don't know. I just have so much guilt about this whole thing. I don't know what to do. Like, who puts their 6-month-old in daycare? Am I wrong for that? Should I just bite the bullet and pay? Like, a nanny would cost between 24 to 3,000 a month. Maybe we just do the nanny. I don't know. It'll definitely make me tighten my budget up if we do the nanny. There'll be no excess. We'll basically just be paying for nanny. But will we be happy with that? Like, I don't want to make us miserable. It's just been so much transition with the baby and so much strain that comes from new baby and new decisions. And as soon as I get used to one thing, we're changing. And that's kind of how it works, right? Like, the moment I get used to finally being a mom, I'm already thinking about going back to work. And there's just it's constant changing with the baby, with the kid. It's just constant because she doesn't stay the same. She's changed so much. I showed a video montage, I guess that's what it's called, and she you see how different she looks. Like, everything, her development, she's more engaged, she's more active. As soon as you get used to one thing, they're on to the next thing, so you can't really get complacent. And I'm like, Lord, I just got used to doing this, and now I'm thinking about I gotta leave her and go to something else. My career has been so important to me. I mean, I went to law school. I've worked my butt off. I've tried to, climb up the ladder. And this is the first time in my life where I felt like it's not really that important. I mean, now, don't get me wrong, it is important. And sometimes I do miss work and I miss my coworkers. There was a while there where I was like, I'd rather just be at work. I can't do this. Work would be easier. But this is the first time where I'm kind of like, she needs me and I don't care. Like, and it took me a while to get here. And it's funny, it almost took me half my maternity leave to get to a point where I was like, oh, I'm okay being on maternity leave. And now I'm thinking, like, it's the first time ever I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't even want to be a mom, to be honest. So to want to be a stay-at-home mom is crazy. It's the first time in my life I've ever seen value to that. I'm going to be truthful. Like, I never really saw a bunch of value to it. And this is the first time ever where I'm just like, I'd rather, no one's going to love her or take care of her the way that I do. No one is. Not even her father. He loves her. He loves her a lot. Of course, but he doesn't do what I do. How could he? You know? So, one, I have the breast, so he can't do that. But two, it's just different. Mommy's different. So, when she cries and I come to her, she, instantly, she can melt into my arms. She can, cuddle with me and stuff like that. And they cuddle, but it's still different. It's just different. That's why, there's all these Mother's Day sales. No one does anything for Father's Day. I'm joking. But, you know, um, I don't know, ladies. I just have so much guilt over this. I mean, to make me a bad mom to put her in daycare at 6 months. Or should I just bite the bullet and do the nanny? I don't know what to do. Or do I just quit my job and struggle? I don't. I mean, that's not an option. But you know, um, I'm telling you, this only gets harder. When does it get easier? All right, ladies. I will talk to you soon. Hopefully, I won't look like a hobo next time, but I probably will. But I will talk to you soon, and I don't know if I'll have an answer on this whole childcare thing. I have some tours next week. I have a tour on Tuesday of a daycare, and I have a tour the following week of another daycare. Those are the only tours I've set up. Those are the only two that have availability for January. The other ones I contacted don't have availability until later months. And those may not be the best ones anyway. So, also, I still need to go online and look up the investigation reports for these daycares because you can see their inspection and whether there have been investigations and all that. It's so much. It's so scary. Like, you want to leave your child in the best place. You want to give them the best. And you don't know what's the best. I really wish I had family to help. I feel so alone. Like, I don't have anybody to help. I mean, my husband helps when he comes home. But other than that, I really wish I had family to help me. I really do. I mean, this has been such a trying time. Like, I have absolutely nobody to come and help out. And so when that woman was helping, it was actually great to me until, she decided that she was it doesn't matter. But she was kind of annoyed. She was annoyed that we didn't go to her church. We go to a different church. She was mad that we don't go to her church. It just became too much drama. And I'm just like, listen, you're not even taking care of the baby. I can't have drama. Even if you were taking care of the baby, I don't want drama. So, I don't know, ladies. I don't know what to say. But I mean, it pains me that I don't have any family to help right now. Um, and it pains me to think about putting her in daycare, and it makes me feel like I failed somehow. So I got to deal with that, and I will get back to you guys sooner rather than later. Bye, Michaela. Say bye. Talk to you soon.